Welcome back, brothers, to the amazing Spider-Man review from Hot Toys. I'm going to crack straight on. I hope you've watched part 1. We're going to roll on to part 2 and start with Articulation. As you can see, it doesn't take no rocket scientist to figure out this bitch is articulated. It's articulated a treat. There is an hindrance, but again, it's nothing that's major or would even make me knock a score down. I'm going to tell you outright that the figure's got a 4 out of 5. This is its strong suit. They have improved the body underneath, although I will say it isn't perfect, but it's done everything I've asked it to do or told it to do, and I like the pose it will get. For every pose I show you, I probably do about 5 or 6 others that are slight variants of what I film. I do sit here for hours, I've said this before, and that's why it pisses me off when you look at a review that you've put up and you've only got a couple of 100 views, because I think I've spent all night fucking about with a figure, messing about. I could have been cleaning my other figures, but I've been reviewing this bitch and I've got a couple of 100 views. So that's why it pisses me off. I put the work in and sometimes I feel I don't get the reward out, sort of thing. But anyway, so like I said, I have done a lot of poses, although you will only see about 6 in this review. And I stop on the ones I like, and I do really like this one. Because I can remember having a conversation with Morris, Moggy215, a couple of years ago. It was an awesome figure pose. He fucking taught me most of what I know, if I'm honest. And I do take a lot of credit for stuff that I've seen him do. But anyway, I can remember saying something about a Spider-Man. You would want a Spider-Man to basically go anywhere. You would want him to be able to bend this leg and get his foot somewhere up here, which this will do. I will say that will go up higher than it is, but for the sake of it being balanced on the stand and to get into like a picturesque position where I can film around it, this is what I stuck with. So yeah, it is articulated. I will say the shoulders are a little bit loose and feel a little bit fragile, so be careful. And also because the booklet tells you not to bring his shoulder up here too high anyway, it would be unnatural to put it up there anyway. So like I say, it's not something I would do, but they do feel a little bit loose. Sometimes you push them to a position and you can feel the suit sort of bringing it back, which I don't like. I think the body underneath should always be sturdy enough to tell the suit where it's going, sort of thing, where on this sometimes the suit sort of suggests come back here a little bit, and like I said, there is an hindrance, but it don't piss me off too much. There is articulation in the ankle, and like I say, I have got the other version of Spider-Man there, and you find that you're always sort of hutching his sock boots up, sort of thing, so it don't rock up too much. That's not the case with this one. There is articulation, you can move it. Sometimes, like I say, it don't always stay exactly where you want it, but you can sort of manipulate it around, you can sort of turn it and so on. It does tell you that it will bend back 45 degrees and forward 45 degrees, and it does do that. So the hands swap on and off really nice because they are the soft, pliable hands. You're not risking like breaking up the wrist pegs. And like I say, I have noticed as well, and I don't know if it's brand new and this will change over time, when I've had it in an extreme position, such as that, when I put it back, I always go back to sort of standing position. And what I will say is the suit seems to go straight back to how it were. It don't leave creases in. It feels nice around the body. It always fits. Like I said, the sleeves do feel a little bit short, and if I'm honest, I think on this, if I turn to this side, probably not going to see it. The boot is not detachable. You leave the boot on, but it sort of looks here like whoever pushed the boot on to the suit has sort of trapped a bit of the suit under there, which gives it a bit of an awkward looking crease, but again, that's very, very minor as well. So yeah, the articulation is, I don't know, you can see what it is, you know what I mean? You're never going to get an Iron Man like that. So I've got to give it a 5 out of 5, like I said. Moving on to extras. I'll show you the pose first. Gone back to the Peter Parker head sculpt because that is the only real extra of note that you get. Yeah, got him again. Pretty low and spread. Looking nice. So what does he bring? Obviously, if the Spider-Man's the first head, the Peter Parker would be the extra. I said before, it don't fit flush, or this one doesn't. I don't know if yours will. but I do like it. It is a good option. I think I would always pose this figure with the Spider-Man head, but there's a choice to make a Peter Parker custom, which, like I said, I might do that. Get the generic Hot Toy stand, just with the Amazing Spider-Man logo, and then Spider-Man on the front. Obviously the Spider-Man head, which would be the first head. You get 10 hands, the 2 he's wearing, which are the spread wall crawling ones, as we call them. Then you get the web holding ones, right and left. The web casting ones, right and left. The relaxed, right and left. And fisted, right and left. Set of hand pegs, which, like I said, because the hands are pretty soft, I don't think they're going to bust the hand pegs up, but they're a nice option, or nice in case, peace of mind sort of thing. And then you get a set of 4 webs, which is less than you got with the original Spider-Man. To be honest, I don't think I would ever leave any of my Spider-Mans with the webs, because what happens is normally you put him as if he's spinning them, and then the sort of gravity takes hold and it starts bending them down, and in end it looks like he's chucking an handful of spunk. So not a good look on your figures, so I don't bother with him. In fact, they probably won't even be opposing this review with the webs, but the webs are there if you want them, and pretty much what they are is the casting ones with the sort of blobbed ends and then the swinging ones. So like I said, to make them work, I always wrapped mine in wire and then put them to the side of the cabinet, but I don't have anywhere near enough room for me to have a setup where Spider-Man's doing that, so the webs won't be getting used. So I used to give any figure that come with a spare head a 5 out of 5, but sometimes I think they throw a spare head in and don't give much else. If you compare it to the likes of a Barney Ross, which brought a full outfit and a shitload of weapons but didn't have a spare head, then you're looking and you're thinking, where's my money going, sort of thing. So I'm not going to give it a perfect 5, but I think when you do get 2 heads, it does up your pose options. So I am going to give it a 4 out of 5. Rolling on to value and the overall score. Like I said at the beginning, I bought it from Tim Cent on eBay, a guy I used to really buy from. One of the sort of 4 main sellers I used to buy from. I used to buy regular. When I spoke to him about this figure, I saw he'd got it. There were about 4 or 5 other people got it as well. I don't think his price was cheapest, but I went and said to him, hi, it's Rick, I've not bought from you for a while, not been buying from Hong Kong, and explained the situation and everything. I wanted to buy the Spider-Man, what crack with it sort of thing. I never asked him to go through PayPal, which I used to always do. So I pretty much just spoke to him, asked him if he would mark it down as a low value gift so I wouldn't get no custom charges. He did that for me, and I also asked him if he'd send it out that day. He did that for me. So massive shout out to him for that. But I never saved any money by going outside of eBay on this one. I might have done, I might have saved 10%, I don't know, but I never asked him. The figure that I've got coming tomorrow, I did, and I got a deduction which sort of covered the fact that it got sent with EMS, but I'll make that clear tomorrow when the other figure gets here. So, what have I paid for it? I think I paid 167 for it, 167. That was shipped with standard shipping, so like the Express 48, I think it's called. Say he sent it Wednesday, it arrived today, so less than a week from Hong Kong to England. I love out like that, no custom charges, I especially love out like that, and Parcel Force didn't fuck it up, so I love out like that. In England, like I said, I think it's 135, that's the cheapest you're going to find, and then plus a tenner or 12 quid shipping, so that's 145, 147, so I think I've paid about £20 too much. I accept that, and I'm happy to accept that, to be honest. If that's the case on all the new release figures, then I might go back to new release figures, because Hong Kong might have got its fucking act together. If it's a case that this is just a one-off and then just not scalping us on this, then I'll stick to my guns and say, no, I'm not buying from you. If the price doesn't suit, I'm going to buy where I want to buy it from. But like I said, I definitely wanted this Spider-Man. To be honest, I'm happy I've seen it. There's a little bit of let down with it, but it's not a massive amount. I think you always get that when you're buzzing for a figure. So let's get a score on value. What I would say is it don't bring a great deal. It don't bring as much as the original Spider-Man, but I like it because the articulation is better. So they've probably improved the suit and the body. I like the design of the suit. I quite like the Andrew Garfield head, although the paintwork for me could be a little bit stronger. And also I do know that I've had figures before, which were it, the Bruce Lee one I think. When I got an early release figure, it came and I thought it were awesome. But then I got one of the wholesale figures like sort of 2 months later. And when I looked at the difference in paintwork, the wholesale one were a lot stronger paintwork on it. Only then I didn't have this camera, so I couldn't really show it. But it were definitely noticeable. So it might be a case that if you wait for the wholesale releases, which will be coming along when Sideshow release theirs, you might get a stronger paint job on the Andrew Garfield. I keep wanting to call him Tobey Maguire like a fucking idiot. But you might not, you might get the same one. Like I say, it's a little bit soft for my liking. Like I say, I've paid over odds, but I readily accept that because it weren't massively over odds. I think a lot of people will want the Spider-Man figure because he is iconic. I don't know. I'm going to give the value a 4 because I feel that at the end of the day, it's a Spider-Man. I think it's a must-have character and I think they've done a good job of it. They could have done more, definitely, but they might have left the door open to do another version, I don't know. And maybe the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just around the corner. I'm not sure on that either. But I'm happy with it. It does look pretty cool. It is eye-catching. I will be comparing it to the old version of Spider-Man soon. I'll do another video on that. I didn't want to cram it onto this one. So on the value, like I said, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, which takes the total overall score up to 29 out of a possible 35, which is a really good score these days because not many figures get that. What I am going to also mention, what I didn't mention before, is the size. I didn't know which category to cover it in. I didn't know whether to cover it in the likeness or in the articulation. I'm just going to show it alongside some other figures, and this is one thing that I don't like about it. Just a finishing point, and like I said, I didn't know where to score this, but I thought it was definitely worth a mention. When you take it out of the box and you feel it in your hand, you think, fucking hell, there feels no to it. It feels like piss and air. So I thought, as he compared to me other figures, size-wise, you know he's small. Our Callum actually looked at him and said, fucking hell, looks like an overgrown Marvel legend. And there is a bit of a feel of that. I'm going to demonstrate. Now, compared to the other Spider-Man, and this Spider-Man's head's down, obviously, but he's a lot smaller. Look at him compared to Catwoman. Fair enough, she's got heels on, but look how he stands there. It's not a problem because it still looks good on its own, but you've got to be careful now who you pose it with because he's going to look very undersized. And I know that is the case. Spider-Man is a little gawky character, but I get a feeling Andrew Garfield, he's got to be touching 6 foot and he's very lean. So I don't mind him being slender and athletic or muscular. Not as bulky as this Spider-Man. I wouldn't want him as bulky as that, but he should be a little bit taller, I think. I'm just moving that out of the way just to give another example. He's somewhere between, and that's not a bad place to be between, Catwoman, Black Widow. Just a little bit shorter than Catwoman. Obviously she's got heels on, but so's Black Widow, and a little bit taller than her. But like I said, the body as well is very slim, very lightweight, feeling like that. So just take that into account. Fucking hell, take that into account if you do want to order this figure and you're expecting to pose it beside your other Spider-Man. I think it's going to get lost size-wise. So, like I said, I did score the figure 29 out of 35. Like I said, good score. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like it, comment, spread the word. Clipper's always looking for attention. But for now, I'm out of here.